Welcome to your daily reading. You have the Two of Pentacles as your central theme. And a theme, I'm doing a Celtic cross for you folks this morning. Automatically, it looks like somebody is struggling to maintain balance. Like it's always a possible, I do have my shit together, or I might not have my shit together. I'm just on the edge of losing everything. The ships in the background on the waves, sometimes they're up and sometimes they're down. Like I can feel how emotions might be really kind of ping-ponging all over the place, quite possibly for you. And it might be with that super tall hat that you are thinking way too heavily into something, when it's possible that letting go might be one of the best things that could have happened to you. In your past position, you've got the Five of Wands. Now, this isn't the Five of Swords where people can actually do damage with each other necessarily, although I guess you can like clobber each other with these wands. But they're sparring. They're not like actually fighting. If it were in reverse, then yeah, I would say that there's probably been some fighting going on, like legit fighting. But there's still some tension underneath. This is where we're like sparring, but we're also like frenemies in a sense. So there's something about this particular situation that has led to this. We got a situation with frenemies over here, and right now you're just barely keeping things under control, and in some days it feels like you're about to lose your marbles, maybe mentally, maybe emotionally speaking, but definitely it feels like things are just about to slip out of your control, and you go sliding down a hill that maybe you didn't want to go down. In your conscious position above the Two of Pentacles, you've got Judgment. Things are changing for you in the sense that you are supposed to be upgrading yourself, so to speak. You're meant to be listening to your guides, and I feel like since this is in the conscious position, you are making a change. There's something about this Five of Wands here that made you say, I don't want to be like this. And this Two of Pentacles, you're continuing to say, I don't want things to always be like this. I want things to be in balance. And that's you leaning towards listening to the universe and obeying its call to somehow bring balance to your life. On the inside, though, subconsciously, you are feeling incredibly defensive. It's possible that you feel very vulnerable because of this particular battle that you've had with people. Because the Two of Pentacles is here and you're barely holding on to things, you might feel really defensive and like people are legitimately attacking, and that might be the genuine case, right? I'm seeing with the Six of Wands here that possibly this is a reference to the previous card, the actual Six of Wands card, where people are celebrating you and your accomplishments. But I wonder if by holding things barely together, if you aren't attracting some jealous eyes, some evil eyes, if you will, that are upset that you are keeping things together. They may choose not to see that you're barely holding your head above water, and they just see the good stuff and not how hard you're working in order to keep your balance. In your future position, you have Death. You've got one character who has already passed away. You've got one character, the Pope-looking character, who is aware of what death is and is praying for it or accepting it in either way. You've got the feminine figure in the bottom corner who is struggling to accept that death is on its way, and then you've got a child who just kind of accepts death with an innocent kind of perspective, and it's going to be up to you to decide how you're going to choose to accept this end of an era. Because this lands after the Two of Pentacles, I wonder if you aren't going to have to let things go in the sense that things are going to collapse, and you're just going to have to allow things to collapse alongside it. What's interesting is that you have the sun rising in the background, and I don't know if you can see very well, but there is an aspect of shadow seen in this blue part. I'm not holding it very well. But the figures who are accepting death one way or another, or not accepting death, are in the sun. They're already being reborn, even as death is headed their way, about to come for them. A new era for them is already starting. And perhaps that's how you need to look at this. As soon as one era ends, another era has to start. And it's going to be up to you to decide how you want to accept this end of an era. This lands in your advice position in the rod alongside the cross. This suggests that you are supposed to roll forward and accept this end of an era. That might be difficult for you. In your environment position, you have the Tower. This is asking you to choose to accept that this might be rough, that when we pull down a building and demolish the old foundation, that's going to be rough, and it is rough just by nature. That might be happening to you right now because it lands in your environment position. So this might be happening all at once. The Two of Pentacles, death, and the Tower in reverse might be happening all at once for you, and it might really feel like you can't get things under control, like things are spinning out of your control and there's nothing that you can do. You're being asked to choose to accept what's going on here. I respect that what you're hearing right now might be really, really rough, because I feel like you're kind of the kind of person to work hard and to hold on to things just as hard as you worked for them. I'm going to get to your hopes and fears in just a second. This is your outcome. Combined with the Chariot in the advice area, combined with death in future, and combined with the Four of Swords in reverse, you are going to need to rest for an extended period of time after you've gone through this Tower moment. There's quite a bit of major arcana energy here. So after you go through this massive of a transition, after you've been working so hard to keep things together, and after you go through a cataclysmic Tower moment that might see the beginning of a lot of loss, your job is to accept that loss and to move on into a stage where you can rest and get ready for the new era. It's kind of in alignment with the burial aspect in a sense. While that sun rises in the background, while there's some golden light bathing both the figure of death and the people who are accepting death, willingly or not, there's also that golden light right here where you're being blessed in a sense by the universe to take a moment and recover from this cataclysmic ending. Cataclysmic, maybe not huge, but for you, it signals the end of an era, and it's major too, and it's going to feel disorienting for a little while. And getting into that Four of Swords energy is going to be key to getting ready for the new era. Accepting what's going on is really important. Not fighting this, choosing not to fight this, is really important. You only delay things. This is inevitable. This era was meant to end. You weren't always meant to be throwing things in and out of balance, trying to keep something together. I say throwing things in and out of balance, trying to maintain balance for something that was meant to end. This might have to do with a family situation. This might have to do with a divorce that you've been considering now for a while. This might have to do with the end of a relationship with a best friend, with found family / chosen family. You've been trying to maintain this now for a minute, and you just keep getting attacked by the people that you're trying to maintain a relationship with. And it's just the signal that it's time to let things go, and it's going to feel kind of traumatizing to let that go. And yet, you can recover from this, and you're being asked to go through this moment because this is only going to get worse if you avoid it. The longer you run away from this ending, the worse that it gets. Accept it, and you'll be in better shape. These are your hopes and your fears. You want to accept this, but you're afraid of accepting this. You want this to end. On the other hand, you understand very well the consequences of ending something like this. Run away. you won't be able to run away from the consequences of letting this relationship with these people go. They are hell-bent towards conflict with you. They don't like you. They don't like to see you do well. And when you continue to try to hold things together, it pisses them off even more. And you're aware of this. So, accepting this cup from the universe, accepting this deeply emotional opportunity is something that you must do at one point or another. But it's up to you to decide when you're going to accept this particular cup. I want to shuffle just a few times in order to get 3 cards to close this reading out with, because I understand that what you might have just heard is really, really rough, and you don't want to feel the end. I get it. Okay? I've been through moments like these before, and they can take a long time to recover from. The universe wants you to go through this, and they want you to recover, and they want you to move on to something far better for you. I was just talking about the 6 of Wands earlier, wasn't I? People aren't celebrating your accomplishments. They aren't celebrating that you are so strong that you can hold together a bad relationship, seen in the 2 of Pentacles. Because the 2 of Pentacles is upright, that tells me that you're well-meaning, that there is some degree of compassion and love here that you have, even while other people that you're trying to maintain a relationship with don't love you. They don't like to see you do well. They might shit on your accomplishments when you try to bring them to them in order to celebrate with them. This tells me that celebrating your accomplishments for right now with these people is meant to be done in private, by yourself, or at least with people who do love you, who do get along with you. You've put a lot of work into maintaining your relationship with these people. I can see that this is a harvest not worth. It's like these are just like vegetables that have they're just air. They're not even vegetables. They have like no nutritional value. If you were to I'm picturing like a squash, for instance. Do you grow squash? In any case, if you were to squeeze these vegetables, if you were to squeeze these fruits, they would just collapse. They're rotten on the inside. This is not a harvest worth working for. This was labor not worth doing. But I sense that you were still deeply well-meaning when it came to this. These might be the only people in your life, the only family that you've ever known. This might be the only relationship that you really cared about. You might have children with this particular individual, and you don't want to break up the family. Either a blood family, chosen family, or a romantic partnership type of family. You don't want this to be broken up, but the universe needs you to end it if you're going to move into your best, your highest self. If you don't stop things, the universe will stop things for you. Now, for the past several days, I've been talking to some people who've been in abusive partnerships, either with family, with romantic partners, with friends, or something like that. But I've gotten this card a couple of times before for that group for who I'm reading for. If you don't pull things over, the universe will do it for you, and it's going to be a whole lot rougher for you if the universe has to force this on you. That's possibly what I'm seeing here with the tower in reverse. You can feel the building crumbling, but you're doing what you can to mortar it back up. You need to stop. You need to pull things over. You need to allow the universe to suspend you, so to speak. And you need to get downloads exclusively from the universe, from your guides, from your ancestors. I'm not getting full-on seclusion because I don't have the Hermit card here, but this kind of implies that you are supposed to be kind of having some alone time, and that might be something that you're deeply afraid of, but you need it. You need to divest of the situation. You need to throw in the towel and say, what happens now is up to the universe. And you need to allow the end of an era. You need to move on. Move on into your best and highest self. I wish you healing. I wish you the very best journey possible. and I will see you later. Take care.